Credor just released 3 new timepieces ahead of Watches and Wonders. And today, on Brandon's Brands, we will be taking a deep dive into these timepieces and ranking them. Let's get to it. Now, before we get into these new releases, let's just talk about Credor in general, like what Credor is and why we all clicked on this video. What is Credor? What its new releases? What are they about? Credor is a Japanese brand who previously exclusively sold in Japan and recently started selling in the US, hence the hype for the new releases. They are a big brother to the very popular brand that you guys all probably know, Grand Seiko, and they are actually owned by Seiko. So a little background there on Credor just before we get into this to give you guys a little background knowledge so we all know what we're talking about. Starting in at the number 3 spot, we have the new gold feather urushi lacquer dial, and this piece is limited to 25 pieces. I have this in at the 3 spot because compared to the other releases, I find it less interesting and less crafty almost. Now, that doesn't mean that the watch itself isn't any less impressive. It's a very impressive piece, and I believe it shows Credor's artisanal intelligence on a very high level. The dial on the watch has a black into a blue, and it shows the gradient effect that you'll have there, which, like I said, it shows their creativity and their artisanal work on this piece. Now, like I said, Credor is a Japanese brand, so I think this watch is a very good example of how they bring Japanese culture and that craft into this watch with the lacquering of the dial and how the dial is made and just how much precision and effort is put into making these watches. And like I said, it is a limited edition. It's 25 pieces. It's going to be very hard to get. The watch itself will be coming out in June of 2026 and will be retailing for a price of $47,000. I personally would give this a Brandon score of a 8 out of 10. The watch is beautiful. It's amazing. Comes on this amazingly cool blue leather strap to match the dial. It's a very dressy piece, and I think that Credor really just worked this one out really well. And this was a very thought out piece, and it was definitely an amazing release by Credor. Jumping to the number 2 spot, I have the new Credor locomotive. Now, the locomotive features a new dawn blue dial, said to be inspired by the signal lights in a train system, hence the name locomotive. Now, the watch itself has a pretty interesting bezel that carries over the crown and as well as the visible screws. The watch itself is really cool. Its dial is very textured, it's very beautiful, and it's really cool. The watch itself has a lot of history, being brought back in 2024 for its 30th anniversary from the original model. It is a perfect example to show how Credor is not a modern brand, but one that's history and has set its name in time, literally. So, this watch is in my number 2 spot. I give this watch about an 8.5 out of 10. It's really cool. It looks like it's going to be amazing on the wrist. And there's not much else to say about it. It's just amazing, to be honest. But let's head into this number 1 slot because this next watch is crazy. Now, heading into the last watch from Credor at the number 1 spot, I have the other piece that was released from the Gold Feather collection, the Tourbillon. Now, like the other Gold Feather, is also limited to 25 pieces, making it obviously pretty hard to get your hands on. It really shows the high level of engraving that Credor is exemplifying. And when I saw this watch, I genuinely just looked at it and went, wow, that is high horology. This watch kind of just takes your breath away. It's amazing. It has that white silvery dial with those blue hands that just give it that pop. And it has that blue leather, making it a really nice dress piece to go out with. The watch itself is just kind of amazing in the way that it's, like I said, it's a showstopper. It'll definitely get you some compliments. It'll definitely make people look like, whoa, what is that? That thing looks sick. Which is why I think I just had to put it at the number 1 spot because of how amazing it is just based off looks on top of everything else with its texture dial and just how much work that Credor put into this piece. You can definitely tell it was meant to be the centerpiece for the show. And with that being said, I think I have to give this a 9.5 out of 10. The watch is amazing. I really can't ask much else from Credor. I don't know what else they could do better. But yeah, and that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I got more videos coming out. I'll be posting again tomorrow with some more Watches and Wonders releases, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.